Are we alone in the universe? It's one of humanity's most profound questions, and for centuries, the answer was a resounding yes. That is, until we realized just how many galaxies are out there. Then the question shifted to, are we alone in this galaxy? And today, scientists believe the answer might still be yes, but maybe not for the reason you'd expect. Because in the afterglow of the Big Bang, they found something they can't explain. A vast, freezing patch of sky. They call it the cold spot. Part 1. The cosmic microwave background. To understand the cold spot, we first have to understand the cosmic microwave background, or CMB. It's the faint radiation left over from the Big Bang. A baby picture of our universe that allows us to see back in time nearly 14 billion years before the formation of stars and galaxies. The CMB is incredibly uniform, which makes sense because it has the light from the early universe, before matter had clumped together under gravity and started forming stuff. But it's not totally uniform. There are tiny fluctuations in the CMB, and those are important. They're what grew into the first stars and galaxies, the seeds of cosmic structure. The entire universe is like a boiling pot of water. All the matter in it is constantly moving around, bumping into each other. But the really mind-blowing thing about the CMB is that we can see that movement. Those tiny fluctuations we talked about are actually the baby universe's record of all the little collisions that took place before matter formed. In other words, the CMB is a snapshot of the very first moments of cosmic creation. Part 2. The cold spot. Now let us talk about that one region of the CMB that's a lot colder than the others. It's an area roughly the size of 1,500 million light years across. So big it's impossible to ignore. But to make things even weirder, it's not a single contiguous cold spot. Instead, it's made up of dozens of patches spread out over a spherical region around the Earth. If our planet were the size of a soccer ball, the cold spot would be about the size of the entire continental United States. And it's not just cold, it's 700 times colder than the average temperature of the sea, which is about 2.7 Kelvin. This is a region of space so frigid it's almost impossible to comprehend. Part 3. What could be causing it? Scientists have been racking their brains trying to figure out what's behind the cold spot for decades now. And the leading idea is pretty straightforward. Most of the space we see around us is actually empty. And the reason we see through it is that like move through a vacuum very easily. It needs something to bounce off of. So the stuff that we can see, stars, planets, galaxies, dust clouds, all of that stuff is obscuring our view of what's really out there. And because of this, there might be a gigantic cosmic void. A region of absolutely nothing somewhere beyond the cold spot. Because the universe is expanding, that void would appear to be rushing away from us faster than the speed of light. And according to Einstein's theory of general relativity, no information can travel faster than light, not even from a place that's getting colder. That means that we'd never be able to see that region of space and it would appear frozen in time. In other words, the cold would come from a lack of anything, including light, to heat it up. But there's another idea out there, one that's so radical, it's rarely discussed outside of fringe circles. Some believe that the cold spot isn't caused by a void at all, but by a collision between two universes. Not just any collision, though. A glancing blow between two inflating spaces. According to this controversial theory, our universe, with its stars and galaxies and black holes, is actually just a tiny bubble in a much bigger space-time foam. And at some point in the distant past, our bubble collided with another, leaving behind a scar in the CMB. Part 4. Why it matters. Whether the cold spot was caused by a void or a collision, it's a challenge to our current understanding of cosmology. If it really is a scar from another universe, then it would mean that our reality is not alone, that there are other bubbles out there, perhaps even with different physical laws, different constants. Other universes. And if we ever hope to find them, we need to keep searching, keep looking for the cold spot's secrets. After all, sometimes the greatest discoveries are hiding in plain sight. Do you believe there are other universes out there? Let me know your thoughts. And thanks for watching, Seeker.